Uh, Moving on, we have. I think even this page is completed now. There is nothing left to do here. Like let's say if I click on demons, now only the music player component is left, and with that we will proceed to end our workshop. And it is the literally the most tricky part of this whole code. I hope all of you understood or at least got a conceptual overview of this till this point. I know that it's you have been attending this workshop since the morning, and a lot of you might have had uh, trouble understanding because it's literally a lot of stuff to take in at once. Uh, but don't worry if you don't understand anything. We can help you with by solving your doubts. And to be honest, at this point, understanding something conceptually is more important because you can always have the code. We are going to open source it. So music player is the final part. It is the final piece of our puzzle. Because right now, no matter how much albums you have or anything, you can go back and do everything. There is nothing you can play, right? So if you go to let's say jungle, there's nothing which plays. So first of all, let's start making the music player, and slowly, I'll walk you through the different components. So first of all, we'll obviously delete this. It's not required. We'll make it proper div. First of all, there are a few things that I require you to import. First of all, like always, we might need Axios to fetch the one piece of code that we require so badly, which will be coming from the Axios backend. Sorry, the Node.js backend, and we'll be importing Axios to fetch data from there. Uh, the other part which we will be requiring is, and will be very interesting to use would be to have uh, use params. I think this is another new hook that you are seeing right now. So this is basically part of the React router package, and using this you can actually go and extract this ID from the browser. Okay, this is what you use to uh, access this ID from the browser. So for that you need use params. Moving on, what we require is again we will require use state and use effect, our good old trusty hooks from React. Uh, add two more imports that we require to do, which will be very useful later on, is the waveform component, which I have pre-written for you guys, so that you don't have any, so that you don't have to write this code. Uh, and the final and the most important piece of code that we have right here, or you can say that gives the best results with the minimal code, is the Node Vibrant package. This is the package that we will use to be able to extract the colors, the dominant colors from each image that we are having for our album art. So first of all, I'll extract the song ID from the parameters which are there in the URL. Like I said, we need to extract the ID which is there in our URL. So how I'll import it using song ID, but how does use params though to pass this ID into this song ID variable? Can anybody tell me how music player JS knows how that this variable in my URL should be called song ID and not play or localhost 3000? Why is it only specifically getting me this? Because I can even go and console log it and it will probably work. Okay. I'd really appreciate if anybody is able to tell me why song ID only captures this, and uh, how it captures this, if they have any idea, because I think I've kind of given you a few hints. So let me know in the chat if you see it is printing it correctly. So let's see if anybody, I'll write some more code, and let's see if until that time somebody is able to come up with an explanation. Otherwise, in the end, I'll explain. So song ID has this ID which we require for fetching the song information. Okay. There are three, four things which are important to the state of this variable, not just the song itself, but the color which is required. What color to render this player in, and a lot of other information is required, not just the song this time. So we will be having a use state, obviously, okay, and this time we will have a lot of defaults, okay, so that it does not look like a dead UI at the start. So we will leave ID to be empty, okay, because we don't have an ID in the beginning, okay. Uh, Next up, we will have name, and we will call this name loading by default, so that instead of showing the name, it will show the loading. Artist, artist again is loading because we haven't loaded that data yet. Image URL would be the URL of that person, sorry, that song. We will leave that empty by default, and song URL again will be empty, okay. And apart from that, we will also have a default for the color. So by default, the color of this, let's assume that the dominant color would be black, okay. If you don't have anything, go for black. That is my code. If you don't like it, you can change it to something you like red or pink or something like that. And we will get and store these variables in our two variables of song and color, and make it available throughout the rest of the hook by object destructuring, like I explained you before. And this time I'll have a color and I'll have a set state object. This set state will act as a setter to actually set this data as and when required, especially in the use effect. And this will only be used in the use effect. Use effect, like I said, if you want to fetch any remote data, you have to use use effect. Uh, but before I write that, let me answer this use params question, because I asked this. So the reason why I know and use params knows that song ID will be the Mongo object ID only is that because in the router, when I was writing the code in app.js for React router, I had marked that after slash play it will be a song ID. So that is why the object ID got properly detected. Okay, in this song ID variable. Uh, in the next part we have a function called func. You can name it anything you want. I was running out of innovative names. So I'll fetch the data, the song data from my Axios, obviously. Uh, I'll do the get request and I'll pass it a back in backtick notation the song ID which I have, the song ID, right? Uh, Meanwhile, if anybody has any doubts, again, please let me know so that I can answer them for you. Uh, so we have the song ID with us. So I get the data of the song from here. So let's console.log it before we do anything. Let's see what song data has for us. It's always a good idea to log the data. I think I made a mistake. Okay, I defined this function, but I did not call it, so you will never see the output. And I'll also have to make this asynchronous. So now it should render properly if I reload. Um, so after the fetch completed, I only have the data for this song. The Rogers and Dean is the artist name and Jungle is the soundtrack. So I only have the data for that object because we defined this particular song route in the backend. If you remember that, if you give slash song slash the song ID, you only get that particular song. Moving on, from this song data also has the image URL, right? This part image URL is present in this song data object. So we will use this to get the dominant color inside this component. Okay. So here we'll call vibrant dot from song data dot image URL. Okay. Song data dot image URL. I'll get the palette. You can read the documentation to understand what all other functions are available, but this is the function that we require. So we will get the palette, and as soon as we get the palette, we will use that to establish our colors. Okay. So I'll establish my color data as the hex code. There are 3 4 ways to denote any color. In there is RGB, there is hex code, there is HFL, and there is proper variable names like red, green, blue. But right now, a hex code is what I need. Palette dot. I want the vibrant variant. There are different vibrant variants. There's a dark vibrant, there's a light vibrant, and there's vibrant. I just want the normal vibrant. You can choose to have something else totally. Uh, so now if I have the color data, I have both the song data and the color data, right? So this is all I need to play the music and have it look good. So I'll set the state now because I have the information of both these things. I'll have the song where I'll set the song data. Okay. Uh, and now we have the colors where it will be color data. Okay, we have both the data which we required, and we'll save it. And this whole function, this whole contraction will get called every time the song ID changes. Like I said, you have to set up your dependencies properly, right? uh, so let's see, has there any, because we are not rendering anything as of now, you won't see any change, but you will definitely see a change in the next line when I write it. Just one more line. Now you'll definitely see a change, because now we will set it based on the dominant color. So we'll set this background color property to the color variable which we had in the use state variable, right? This color property in the use state, because it will get updated eventually. Uh, and the minimum height I'm setting to 100 viewport height so that it takes the full page. And see what happens now that we have the dominant color in place. So this song was called Jungle. So let's say instead of Jungle, I go for This Is Life. This Is Life has a dominant color of purple. See, and you can even check it, because if I put the image tag with the song URL in it, if I put the source to be song.image URL, you can see that the dominant color is actually purple. Obviously, this is very ugly because we haven't done any styling, but you get the point, right? If the dominant color is yellow, it will be yellow. If it's purple, it will be purple. Uh, we'll save this. Now moving on, let's render these song player properly. Okay. We will have row justify content around, like I said, justify content center. Next up, we have align items start. You will need some sort of kind of advanced knowledge of Flexbox and CSS to be able to write this. I want no margin on the left and right. I want no padding in the left and the right. So I'm on the top. So I'm disabling that. But even on larger screens, like if it's, I don't want any top padding in my phone, because I want the if you look at the responsive viewport, I want the image to totally take this width. Like if you look at the final app, here I am having some top padding, right? Here there is some top padding, but if you look at on the phone viewport, there is no top padding. So that's why there are these two classes. Padding top is 0 by default, but if you are on a screen size that is medium or above, I want some top padding. Next up, we have the image source song.image URL, and we have alt of song.name. Again, because if you are building for accessibility, you need to pass something in the alt tag. And I am putting some hard coded values. You can experiment with them. I found these two values to work very well. I will pass the maximum height of this cover art to be 450 pixels because that's good enough. Most phones are not more than 400 pixels. So I wanted to take the full page on the phones, but not on the displays, big displays. And I want the width best by default to be 100 viewport width, but the maximum is 450. So if you can, then take the full 100 viewport width, but not otherwise. If the whole viewport width is more than 450, which is true for most big displays, you are not allowed to take the full space. And this is a self-closing tag. Okay. So let's see what it looks like now. Have I made any errors? Let's see. See, now the image is looking perfect. Let's say I pick some other one. Let's pick jungle. See, the image is loading. On bigger screens, it is having a proper padding and it is not going beyond 450 pixels. But on displays like mobile, it is not having any issues as well. Let's move back to iPhone 10. Uh, Next up, after this, we just have to write 3 more lines of code. So you can take a rest after that. Uh, right after this closing, right before this closing div tag, you have to obviously put the song title. Okay. And we can close this. And we want the font weight to be bold here because this is the main title of the song. In this case, I want it to be bold. And we will have song.name. Okay. Then in the small tag, I want the song's artist name. Okay. And then you can see what this looks like. The only bits that are left now are the putting the waveform in. So by yourself, you were able to build this whole view and this text of the different albums, and you were also able to make this good looking home page. But for the player part, I can help you by giving you just the pre-written code because that is very advanced in my opinion for a 1 day workshop on React. But it looks really cool, so I felt that you should. And I have written this along with the core members at ISTE. We basically for researched and worked on this piece of component, and this was made with the help of a library called WaveSurfer.js, and we wrote our own custom code on top of that. So basically here, before that, it used to be very complicated and we used to have to deal with use ref and references and a lot of very complicated state tracking. But right now, you just have to pass song URL, song URL, and you're good to go. So if I reload my page now, you should have a proper uh, working music app. So sometimes what will happen is, I guess there is a new policy which is floating around in browsers that you're not allowed to play music by without the user's permission or interaction. So sometimes what might happen is you would even know that a lot of news sites and stuff used to autoplay videos as soon as your video, your apps, your website loads, and that used to be a very problematic thing for the people. Uh, the song is actually playing. I can hear it in my headphones. So now that is disabled by default, especially on Safari browsers. So what you can do is, if the song does not play, you can hit anywhere on this waveform, and if the song is loaded, it will automatically play. So that is one way to make it work. And this app is finished right now. I have deployed it on ist music app dot music app dash ist.web.app. Let's say I want to play Feelings, this track Feelings, because I feel the UI for this would be really nice. Uh, this URL is this song is loaded. So let's say I want to play. So this is properly playing, and you get a neat sort of a waveform. If you want to move it forward and backwards, you can do that. Uh, if you want to pick some other song, the first one might not load properly because of that restriction which I told, that browsers do not allow playing audio by default sometimes. So you have to actually go and interact with the website. But once you have interacted with the website, the future interaction would be very, very simple. Uh, I'll pick my favorite track 21 from this playlist. Uh, so once the track loads, I hopefully yeah, it automatically plays. I did not touch it in any way, so you can see. Yeah. So that was, I think, the finished product. So you can play around with this app. The searching functionality should also work in deployment, in production mode. It's working in localhost, so it should work in uh, the other mode as well. So let's say I want to search for "This Is Life." I'll search this, and it automatically narrowed my search down to "This Is Life." If you can see, the first hit is "This Is Life." I can hit "This Is Life," and it should start playing very soon. Yeah, as soon as that thing loads, it's done. So that's your capstone project for web dev. Uh, so I hope you guys liked it. You enjoyed learning it. So basically, what we are trying to do is the problem with Wave Surfer JS is that React, React works very well with components that are made for React, but sadly, not every piece of JavaScript that was written, since JavaScript got created, was ready for React, right? Because React got introduced around 2012 and it got popular around 2016, 2017. So all the JavaScript code written before that hasn't, totally been ported toward React equivalents. The biggest problem we had with Wave Surfer was that there is no proper React component. There is no proper React component which exists for Wave Surfer JS. Uh, so we have to use a cool React hook called useref, which is I felt was not very easy to teach to a group of beginners who are doing web dev for the first time. So I abstracted away this piece of code. I think you can all see my screen. Uh, so basically, every time the song URL is not null, which is basically every time you get a proper song URL, you have to create a new waveform, which is this command called wavesurfer.create, and you have to load it using this song URL. And as soon as it's ready, you have to play it, and you have to set the set playing boolean, which is stored in this state of set playing, to true. Uh, so basically, you can't control this reference variable using reactive variables. This You can't control WaveSurfer properly using reactive variables because it's not that much well integrated into React. So you have to write the logic separately for WaveSurfer using useref, and you have to control the rest of the bits. Like this play pause button which we have at the bottom, that is proper React component, right? So for that bit, we have to have this playing and set playing because that requires this boolean and it follows the rules of React reactivity. But Wave Surfer and Waveform does not. So we have to write a separate code for that. And it is because of that that this final file of this final file of waveform.js is so complicated and ugly. Because there is no good way to go about this because we don't have the libraries for that. But hopefully in the future we might just go ahead and publish this, that you give a URL and we take some options from you, and that would be a better implementation for Wave Surfer people, in my opinion. We can do that. So there is always room for improvement. React is an open source library. It has a lot of way to go, and it is continuously evolving. So, and it is made of people who are developers who keep contributing and making it better and better every single day. And I hope that you guys learned something from this session, and hopefully you explore React and Node.js in more depth after this workshop. We have successfully completed this, and I hope you all enjoyed it. That's it from my side.